When people watch The Acolyte, what do you want them to walk away with?
Well, I mean, white people crying actually was the goal.
Master Indara.
Yes, my child?
We have unfinished business. Attack me with all your strength.
Alrighty.
We have to talk.
I need a Kleenex.
You guys.
Right now.
Unfortunately, my eyes have watered up a bit.
Mission accomplished!
The initial pitch for the Acolyte was fairly harmless, aside from the identity of the woman pitching it, of course. She being Leslie Headland, former personal assistant to one Harvey Weinstein. Yes, I know, we YouTubers keep saying it over and over again, because the mainstream media never say
They
it.
refuse.
Like, ever. But the success of this show is somehow more important than the many female lives that Monster destroyed. It's pretty sick when you think about it. That's modern day media for you. So the initial pitch was a female-centric martial arts take on a story set in the Star Wars universe, which on paper I have no problem with. I grew up on a steady diet of martial arts movies, and women were always kicking ass in those films. It really didn't matter who was the hero. What mattered was the moves.
You gotta know the moves, baby. You know the moves.
But that was back when Brie Larson was rumoured to be attached to the show. A lot changed soon after that. On board came Amanda Stenberg, former child actress from The Hunger Games, all grown up and every bit an agent of Marxism, pushing her social justice messaging by any means necessary. Every opportunity she gets.
The power of representation, being able to see yourself on screen and feel represented and empowered by it.
The new pitch became Kill Bill meets Frozen, now pitting two sisters against one another, with a list of bad guys to wipe out. Only they're not bad guys. They're the good guys. This story is taken from the perspective of the Sith, which in itself is not a problem. I would argue it's actually quite an interesting take. Not the first project we've seen on screen taken from the perspective of evil. Problem lies with who's telling the story. You can have a movie about the Ku Klux Klan, but if the person making the movie is a white supremacist, a real one, you're gonna get a pretty slanted end result. Ditto if a modern day Nazi did a movie about his lifelong hero, Adolf. Sort of the Acolyte, the woman behind it. Well, first, the obvious, being a personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein. Pretty dark past you got there. Clearly being the persuasion that she was never in any danger from the guy. Fortunately, Weinstein's victims fared no such kind of feminist group keeps quiet when such a woman gets continuous props all the time. Always out there in the media. In fact, what kind of feminist hires a woman like that? Ask yourself that. Maybe post the answer in the comment section. Then there were the stories of her childhood connection to Ursula.
The Sea Witch. Oh no.
Evil villain of the Little Mermaid story. A young girl sympathizes with the role of the evil villain over the Disney princess. Then there was a blatant disrespect of George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars. Honestly, by the time the trailer came out, no wonder that thing was nuked out of orbit by the downvote button, which I'll add most people can't even see. Still made sure they pushed. By the time the actual show came out, let's just say it was as predicted.
Morally, spiritually, emotionally.
Vacant.
Adjective.
Not occupied. Empty.
So here we are, having seen episodes 1 and 2, being constantly reminded these are the best of all the episodes that are coming out. It's all downhill from here. Let's get on with it, shall we? The plot evolves around an investigation launched following the recent mysterious death of a Jedi. Carrie-Anne Moss's character, what is surely supposed to have been a Game of Thrones level, I can't believe they did that, but instead highlights Leslie's shortcomings as a storyteller. Spent episodes getting to know the characters in Game of Thrones before they die. Barely know who his character is. We know she could be guilty of the things she's been accused of. More than a whiff of arrogance to how she responds to it. It's not the friendliest bunch of aliens she's hanging out with. What exactly were they up to before the assassin walked in? What are they talking about?
Good question. For another time.
Good. While you're at it, maybe you can explain why Jedi Master just stand there and watch some rando woman pretty much demolish her local bar and her friends for about 5 minutes before doing anything. Remember when Obi-Wan did this? Didn't take him long, did it? And I'll add that person lived, although their basketball playing days are probably well behind them. Point is, it took her ages to do anything, which to be frank pretty much sums up the show. These Jedi are portrayed as an inept police force, overconfident, complacent, arrogant AF. The thing is, things will get worse before they get, well, a lot worse.
I have an unidentified Force user.
Unidentified Force user. That's what you need to register yourself if you become Force sensitive now.
Welcome to the High Republic.
That's not how the Jedi work.
That's not how the Force works.
A Jedi doesn't pull her weapon unless prepared to kill.
What, you mean like this guy? Why do I bother?
A soft and safe nightlight that illuminates and keeps away the monsters at night.
Obviously, these are completely different type of Jedi, with their own set of rules. Ones that wouldn't hesitate to do questionable things, it would seem. I mean, what the is this? They're using flipping face huggers to subdue criminals now? He's either making out with that thing or he's in serious pain. Guess the one thing these Jedis are not using is a Stairmaster.
How about the secret child of Jabba the Hutt that he and Princess Leia had from that one time they hooked up on spring break?
Mind tricks were only used to get out of tricky situations. Was the last result, not the first result. Unless you were a Sith. Here every Jedi is a freaking probaholic.
Only droids may perform outer ship repair.
Sublevel, Bunk 23.
That's proper fear in that woman's voice. And the dude's like,
thank you for your cooperation.
listen, let me explain to you guys exactly what this is. This is a police procedural drama about dirty cops. Past indiscretions have come back to bite them on the ass. That's why I get this dumbass line in the show.
I made night 2 years ago.
Never thought I would see the day.
And offhand comments like this.
One of the things about the High Republic is that the Jedi at the time were basically, their power was unchecked.
What does it look like when the Jedi have complete unchecked power? What are their relationships like to government institutions, you know? And then people who have issues with their power, what are they like?
Remember that cop in the movies? Rather shoot himself, live with the disgrace of his dirty little secret getting out. Oh, another thing. Why did the assassin hide from these Jedi, but walk straight past this Jedi?
A good question. For another time.
How did May get to the dude's room first, and the rest of them were on their way to the room, with the only guy among them who knew the way? So what, there are now 3 entrances to the room?
A good question. For another time.
Come to think about it, how did May know how to take the 3rd route, when her sister only ever took the other 2?
A good question.
For another time. Yeah. Either way, it appears only one redeemable Jedi is Saul, who unfortunately is also on the list. Which means he's dirty, just not as dirty as the rest. But I will say the character is likeable. That's probably down to the ability of the actor. And this dude so deserves to be surrounded by better material. Any competent writer would have spaced out the 4 Jedi assassinations to happen every 2 episodes. Even Saul as the very last one. It's a nice twist. By then, the audience would have really warmed to the character. There'd be a lot more at stake. But no, episode and a half in and we know exactly who's on that list. There's only 2 of them left. And we already know there are 2 sisters, one innocent, one guilty. Heck, no, in this show they're probably both guilty, or both innocent. Just waiting for the rest of the cast in the show to catch up with us. Because this is a murder and mystery story 2nd, maybe even 3rd, and a vehicle for activism 1st. As usual, the story suffers. So we get faux pas like fires in outer space. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but you need to have that audible flashback scene. So who cares? Almost as laughable as the lack of weightlessness in their movement. I mean, does Leslie Headland even own a television? By the way, those High Republic outfits are freaking terrible. I mean, who did his brothers here?
Oh, Reggie, I heard of dreadlocks, but shitlocks!
Remember when this scene in Star Trek kicked up a storm because it literally served no purpose to the story? There for the sake of drawing a particular demographic in. Guessing that outraged traffic only flows one way.
Put your clothes back on. I'd rather be alone.
And then there's a mysterious bad guy who probably turns out to be this guy, let's face it.
How do you do that? How do you do that? What the hell is going on?
Barking out these nonsensical warnings, well after the fact.
If you attack a Jedi with a weapon, you will fail.
Thanks though, man. And good luck at the Bad Timing Awards.
Look, I struggle to think of anything this woman's got right about this IP. And we're only 2 episodes in. And they're the best 2 episodes of the series, apparently. I mean, what in the world is coming to us over the coming weeks?
I hope that it will excite Star Wars fans and feel faithful to what already exists. But I also hope that it invites new fans and indoctrinates them into what I love.
These are now awesome scissors. All of my scissors are awesome. It's terrible when you go and try and find a good pair of scissors when they can all be good. Please let me know.
If rumors are right, it's nothing compared to the backlash that's going to be coming Disney's way come Tuesday night. Pretty clear to me George Lucas has seen the whole thing prompt him to speak up ahead of its release. Well, that doesn't explain him backing Bob Iger a couple months back. In the meantime, let's continue to laugh at the shills and continue to back this project, and we'll continue to back it till the very last episode, no matter how bad it gets.
Star Wars returns, and it's certified fresh.
Yeah, this was fresh when it was laid too. Not sure I'm getting your point.
That is one big pile of shit.
But an ounce of dignity or pride among them. Okay, pride they probably have in spades. As always, drop your comments down in the comment section and tell me what you think of the whole shebang. It's a disaster. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out of here.
I want to ask you both, because this is, I would say, arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin. And
Shut up. That ain't funny.